Hello and welcome to my veggie patch. Today we're going to pick veggies, which is so exciting after the last couple months of getting everything set up. I've been able to pick veggies most days. I get something out of the garden, but today there's a whole lot. So I wanted to bring you along with me and pick some veggies. This is an African cucumber and it comes from Mauritius. It tastes fantastic. It's got a really light skin, not just light color, but it doesn't get as hard as our green cucumbers that we normally buy at the grocery store. So I don't usually peel them unless they are a lot bigger, kind of like this one down here, which I missed the other day, and it just got huge. So I'll probably peel this one as the skin may be just a little tougher. I've made hummus and use that as a dip for the cucumbers, and it's just a great vehicle. They are very crisp and slightly sweet and very refreshing, quite delicious. I've also put a few slices into a glass of water and it has a lovely flavor. The reason I will take all of them is to allow the new ones to grow better. And then I have a couple different kinds of tomatoes here. These are the first of our cherry tomatoes. And then this is a big boy cutting tomato in the background. And here's another variety. Even though I won't eat all of these veggies in the next 2 or 3 days, I am going to pick the large tomatoes, anything that's got some red to it, because I want to encourage the plants to produce more flowers and more fruit. These are miniature peppers. You often see them in the grocery store, red and yellow and orange. So if I leave these on the plant, they will ripen up. I've been picking lettuce quite regularly. I actually pulled out all the lettuce that was along this section. I started some new lettuce from seed, and that's down here. This is a butter lettuce. And then back in here is a mixed mesclun. This is a red leaf. So I just threw some seed down there and it seems like it's happy in the shade. The squash plants are starting to climb. And there are quite a lot of flowers, and here is one of the first fruit. This is a butternut. The little butternut fruit will have a flower on the end of it. This is one of the male flowers, so it needs to be pollinated when it opens. Then it will grow and hopefully eventually look like a butternut that you could buy in the grocery store. And that is a small variety. I think it's like a honey or a baby gem or something like that. It's a very small variety, so that should grow quicker than those really big butternut squash that we get in autumn. Let's have a look at the potato patch. So these have all died back, which means that it should be time to harvest. So if anything grew, it would be down here. And look at that. Isn't that an exciting find? It's like finding a jewel in the ground. Look at that. I love the red potatoes. Those are just beautiful. I don't think there'll be a really big crop because these plants didn't seem like they held up really well with all the extreme rain that we had. So I think they got a bit of a blight, and they still managed to produce some little potatoes for us. And these baby potatoes are just delicious. We've eaten them quite a few times. The original ones that I planted about 3 months ago. Those are all finished. And there's nothing quite like just boiling these with a little bit of water, adding a little bit of salt, and perhaps some butter, and some fresh parsley chopped up is also really good. And serving that as a side. So unfortunately, this is not a really big crop, but I didn't think it was going to do very well because of all the rain that we had right after I planted them. So I'm just going to dig up enough for a meal. Over on this side of the garden, I have a couple blueberry bushes. So we're almost at the end of the blueberries for this season, but it's been wonderful just being able to go out and collect fresh blueberries to add to yogurt or make a dessert. I ended up transplanting them and putting them in pots because they were just not doing well in the ground, and I think it was because the soil is so sandy. This way I've been able to control what goes into the pots a lot better. I've been able to keep it watered a lot more frequently, and so it didn't dry out as quickly. Every couple of days I've been able to harvest quite a few blueberries, and they really are delicious. This bush was the one that flowered first and produced quite a lot of fruit, and it's just finished off. That's not going to produce anymore. So along this wall I've put in a lot of herbs. Along the back are granadillas and moonflowers. The reason I plant the moonflowers is to have night blooming flowers to bring in pollinators. And these flowers are fantastic. They're about the size of a saucer, and they attract the hummingbird moth among others. This is a fantastic plant that I think every gardener needs. It's called comfrey, and the leaves are a little bit kind of fuzzy, but it makes fantastic compost and it grows pretty quickly. You can just shred it and put it around a struggling plant, but I just take the outside leaves as they die back and I add them to my compost pile. I'm so glad you joined me in my veggie patch today. I want to show you the final haul for today. We have red baby potatoes. This is some English thyme. I love using fresh herbs in my cooking. So we have Greek oregano, some Italian parsley. This is a basil, rosemary, and then of course the beet greens, which are really a pretty purple color. Our cucumbers, loads of delicious blueberries, and 3 different kinds of tomatoes. So the cherry tomatoes and then 2 large varieties of tomatoes. Well, thank you so much for coming along and having a look and seeing what's going on in my veggie patch. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to talk with you again soon.